Today we will discuss about trigonometry ratios of 30 degree and 60 degree. So we are discussing about some specific angles trigonometry ratios. So in the last class we studied what? Trigonometry ratios of 45 degree. In this class we will discuss 30 degree and 60 degree. So in the 45 degree we studied or we use what? One angle is what? 45 degree. Clear? So remaining other acute angle will be what? 45 degree. It means in the right triangle two acute angles are there and both acute angles will be 45 degree. But find the values of trigonometry ratios of 30 degree and trigonometry ratios of 60 degree. We will use equilateral triangle. In the 45 degree we used isosceles triangle, but for these two degrees ratio, how we will find? By using equilateral triangle. And what about the equilateral triangle? All sides of a triangles are equal, that is called equilateral. All sides are equal, it means all angles, all three angles will be equal. Clear? AB, BC and AC, three sides of this triangle will be equal and all angles, angle A, angle B, angle C, angle A, angle B, angle C will be what? 60 degree. But we want 30 degree and 60 degree. So we require right triangle. In a 45 degree we used right triangle. One angle is 90 degree and remaining two angles are acute angle and both are equal what? 45 degree. We want 30 degree and 60 degree ratios of trigonometry. So 60 degree is this one, but how we will obtain the 30 degree? So once we draw a perpendicular line on BC, we want trigonometry ratios of 30 degree. So finding trigonometry ratios of 30 degree or 60 degree also, we require what? Right triangle. Are you getting? For trigonometry ratios, in the trigonometry ratios, in exercise 8.1 we studied a lot of questions. In all questions we consider what? We considered right triangle. This is the equilateral triangle. We want trigonometry ratios of 30 degree and 60 degree. So we require right triangle. So how we will convert this equilateral into right triangles? We will draw AD perpendicular line on BC. We are drawing AD perpendicular to BC. It means this line dividing this perpendicular line AD dividing BC into two parts, BD and DC. Yes or no? Once we draw a perpendicular line AD on BC, we can say, or we are obtaining what? Two triangles. One is ABD and another one is what? ACD. Observe what I am saying. Main our task to find trigonometry ratios. Trigonometry ratios of 45 degree we already completed, but 30 degree and 60 degree values of the trigonometry ratios, sin 30, sin 60, so on, like cos 30, cos 60, cos 45, sorry, tangent 30, tangent 45, how we are getting values in the table. So we want how we are getting. So I am deriving some concept there. How we are obtaining the values of cos 60, cos 30, sec 60, sec 30 in the table. So for these one we are taking one equilateral triangle. ABC is equilateral triangle having all sides are equal and all triangles will be equal. but finding the ratios of 30 degree and 60 degree, we require right triangle. So we will draw perpendicular line AD on BC. Now we are getting two triangles ABD and ACD will be what? Right triangles. Clear? Right triangles we obtained. Then both triangle, this one and this one, are what? Triangle ABD is congruent. This triangle ABD is congruent of ACD. And what is the meaning of the congruent? In the 9th standard we studied what? Congruent is what? Two triangles are congruent when sides and angles of one triangle. Sides and angles of one triangle are equal to corresponding sides and angles of the other triangle. Two triangles will be congruent if sides and angles of one triangle. Sides and angles of one triangle will be equal to sides and angles of other triangle. Like ABD, whatever sides this triangle having will be equal to ACD. Yes or no? BD is equal to DC, AB is equal to AC. This is 60 degree, this is 60 degree, this is 30 and this will be 30. So we can say once we draw the perpendicular line AD on BC, then we are getting two triangles ABD and ACD, and both will be what? Congruent. Once two triangles are congruent, then we can say corresponding one triangle's sides and angles corresponding to other triangles sides and angles will be equal. So this angle 60, it means this will be 60. This is 30, it means this will be 30. It is dividing this one, and this dividing means this side BC, in which we are getting BD and DC. Both parts will be equal. Both parts will be equal. So angle will be divided. Total angle of A is what? 60 degree. Once we are bisecting this angle. Bisecting means 60 divided by 2. So angle will be 30 or 30. Clear? We are drawing this AD on BC as a perpendicular. Then this line, dividing this line into two parts. One is BD, another is what? DC, and both will be equal. It means we are getting two right triangles, this one, and both will be congruent. And this line is bisecting this angle. Then BAD, this angle, and DAC, this angle, both will be equal. Clear? So BD equal to DC, angle BAD and angle CAD, this angle, both will be equal. How? CPCT, in a triangle we are having one rule, corresponding parts of, if triangle ABD congruent of triangle ACD, if two triangles are congruent, then corresponding parts of congruent triangle will be equal. Then we can say BD of this triangle will be equal to DC of this triangle. BD side, this side will be equal to this one, this angle will be equal to this one, this 90, this one will be 90, this 30, this will be 30, and this side will be equal to this one. So CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangle, corresponding parts of congruent triangles we will apply there. Then we can say if we draw a perpendicular line on BC, then we are getting what? Two right triangles, and both will be what? Congruent. Observe. Now next one. Now I am taking what? One right triangle. Triangle ABD is right triangle and right angle is at B. Now I am taking this right triangle. So angle ABD, in which we are taking what? This right triangle BDA, or we can say ABD. This right triangle I am taking, it is right angle at D, and ABD is 60 degree and BAD is what? 30 degree. Clear? Then we want our task to find the ratios, and for ratios we require all the sides. So we will assume some sides. We are assuming AB equal to, in this triangle I am assuming AB as a 2A, then BD will be what? Half of BC. AB is 2A, then BC will be what? 2A. Why? Because this is the equilateral triangle. So we are assuming AB equal to 2A, so BD equal to what? BC upon 2. Why? Because AB, BC and AC are sides of equilateral triangle. So BC will be 2A, 2A upon 2. BD will be A. Observe what we are doing. We are considering this right triangle. Both triangles are congruent. Clear? Congruent means all sides and angles will be equal. And we assuming this side is 2A. This side will be 2A and this side will be 2A. Then BD will be what? Half of this side. So this will be A. So we are having in triangle ABD, we assumed AB as a 2A, then BD will be A. Now two sides of this right triangle we are having. We want a third side. So we will apply what? Pythagoras theorem. So as per Pythagoras we know what? Hypotenuse square will be base square plus perpendicular square. In this right triangle, what is the hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is AB square. What is the base? Base is BD. And what is the perpendicular? Perpendicular is AD. So we are writing what? AB square equal to BD square plus AD square. Now put the values. AB is what? We assumed it to A. BD is what? We obtain A. Clear? 2A square will be 4A square equal to A square is what? A whole square will be A square. Now we are transposing A square from right to left. Then 4A square minus A square. We are getting 3A square. And this will be what? AD square will be as it is going. Now in the left we are having 3A square. In the right we are having AD whole square. Now we are changing left to right and right to left, transposing we are doing. So AD square can be written as 3A square. Now square root we are doing there. AD will be what? Square root of 3A square. Now its square root will be square root of 3 and square root of A square. Then when solve, this one will be A. So A square root of 3 will be the value of AD. And this is what? This one is this perpendicular. When acute angle is 60 degree. We are considering this right triangle. For this right triangle, base is this one. Why? We are considering B as an acute angle. Its opposite side will be perpendicular. This one is base and this one is a hypotenuse. We use the Pythagoras theorem and we solved. Then we are getting AD. AD is what? This is perpendicular. This is what? Perpendicular. When acute angle is 60 degree. When acute angle is 60 degree. Clear? Now we want to find trigonometry ratios of 30 degree and trigonometry ratios of 60 degree. So first I am taking trigonometry ratios of 60 degree. Why? Because we already understand for this acute angle, this one will be what? Perpendicular. This one will be what? Base. And this one will be what? Hypotenuse. And we are having all the sides. We assumed AB, hypotenuse is a 2A, and BD will be what? Half of this one, half of BC. BC is same as a AB. So BC by 2 will be A. And then we apply Pythagoras and we are getting AD. For the 60 degree acute angle, for the B acute angle, we are getting perpendicular as this one. Now trigonometry ratios of 60 degree. For this one, for this triangle, we will use this one. Triangle we will use BAD triangle. Clear? So we will use ABD triangle, and what will be the ratios? Sin 60 will be what? Perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So what will be the perpendicular? In which perpendicular is we obtain, this one is what? This is what? Perpendicular. This is perpendicular for 60 degree. We are talking about 60 degrees, so its opposite side is perpendicular, and this one will be what? Base. Now I am writing its value there. It is equal to what? a cube root of, not cube root, this is a square root of a square root of 3. It is the perpendicular for the 60 degree. So sin 60 will be perpendicular. Perpendicular is what? A square root of 3 divided of hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 2a. When we solve, we are getting a to a cancel. What is remaining? Square root of 3 divided of 2 will be the answer of sin 60. If you know, you observed in the table in a book, then you are getting sin 60 is square root of 3 by 2. So how we are getting? Like this one. Now cos 30 base upon hypotenuse. What is the base? Base is a for the 60 degree. We are taking 60 degree as acute angle. So a upon h, h is 2a. What will be the value? 1 by 2. Cos 60 is what? 1 by 2. A to a cancel. Then we are getting result. Now tangent 30 is what? Sin 60 upon cos 60. Or directly we can say P upon B. P is what? A square root of 3 divided of base is A. So value will be this one. Or we can say sin 60 upon cos 60 will be tangent 60. So this divided by this one, what we are getting? Square root of 3. Now cot 60. Cot 60 will be what? Base upon perpendicular. What is the base? Base is A. Perpendicular is A square root of 3. Or we can say cot 30 is the reciprocal of tangent 30. When we reciprocal this one, then P upon B will be B upon P, and its reciprocal will be this one. A to A cancel. What we are getting? 1 upon square root of 3. A to A will be cancelled. Clear? Now sec 60. Sec 60 is the reciprocal of cos 60. So B upon H is the cos 60. So H upon B will be what? This one. So its answer will be H is what? 2A. And B is what? B is what? B is for the base 60 degree. This is the A. So result will be 2. A to A cancel, we are getting 2. Now cosec 60, it is the reciprocal of sin 60. Cosec 60 degree is the reciprocal of sin 60 degree. So H is 2A. Perpendicular is what? A. Perpendicular is what? A q square root of 3. Square root of 3. So A to A cancel. What is remaining? 2 upon square root of 3. So cosec 60 is reciprocal this one. This one is square root of 3 by 2, and its reciprocal will be what? 2 upon square root of 3. That's okay. So these are the values of 60 degree for different trigonometry ratios. Sin 60, this one square root of 3 by 2. Cos 60 will be 1 by 2, and its reciprocal will be what? Sec 60, this one. Tangent 30 is square root of 3, and cot 60 will be what? 1 upon square root of 3, like this. Clear? So in the trigonometry ratios of 60 degree, we are considering this as acute angle. Its opposite side is perpendicular. This one is base, and this one will be what? Hypotenuse. Now we want to find the values of trigonometry ratios of 30 degree. For the 30 degree, we will consider, observe, for the 30 degree, we will consider, for 30 degree, I am writing this one, I am using different pen. This is what? 30 degree now we will take. For the 30 degree, this is the 30 degree. So its opposite side will be base, perpendicular, not base. Its opposite side will be perpendicular, and this will be what? Base, and this will be what? Hypotenuse. Clear? Hypotenuse values will be the same. So this for 30 degree, its opposite will be perpendicular, this will be base. So values will be what? Perpendicular. Sin 30 will be perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Perpendicular for the 30 degree is what? A upon hypotenuse is 2A. When A to A cancel, what we are getting? 1 by 2. Now cos 30 base upon hypotenuse. What is the base? Base is A. What is the base? Value of base is A square root of 3. For the 30 degree, this is the perpendicular, this is the base, and its value is A square root of 3 divided of H is 2A. When once we solve, what we are getting? This is 2A. A to A cancel, remaining value will be what? Square root of 3 by 2. Now for the tangent 30. tangent 30, ratio of both P upon B. P is what? For the 30, P is the A. P is what? A, and B is what? A square root of 3. Yes or no? For the 30 degree, P is this one and base will be A square root of 30. So A to A cancel, what we are getting? 1 upon square root of 3. Now next one, cot 30, its reciprocal will be what? Cot 30. So we can say A square root, B is what? A square root of 3 upon A, and result will be this one. Clear? So tangent 30 is 1 upon square root of 3, tangent 60 is square root of 3. Sin 30 is 1 by 2, no doubt at all, its right value. Sin 60 will be square root of 3 by 2. Okay. Cos 30 will be square root of 3 by 2, and cos 30. So cos 60 will be what? 1 by 2. Clear? Now cot 30 will be its reciprocal, this one, and its reciprocal will be this one. Clear? Now sec 30 is the reciprocal of cos 30. So cos 30, h is what? 2a, and b is what? For 30 degree, b is what? A square root of 3. A to A cancel, what is remaining? 2 upon square root of 3. Sec 30 is what? 1 upon cos 30. 1 upon root 3 by 2 will be what? 2 upon root 3. That's okay. Cosec 30 will be what? H upon P. What is the H? H is the 2A, and P, it's for 30 degree, its perpendicular is this one. So it is A. A to A cancel, we are getting 2. And it is what? Reciprocal of sin 30. So 1 upon 1 by 2, we are getting 2. It means we observed all the values and they all are correct. Clear? So this is a concept based topic in which what we are doing, we want the trigonometry ratios. What are the trigonometry ratios? Sin theta, cos theta, tangent theta, cot theta, sec theta, and cosec theta. For the special angles 30 degree and 60 degree. So for these two angles we will use one equilateral triangle, then draw perpendicular line from A to BC, then we are getting two right triangle. Clear? So for this right triangle, this one will be the 60 degree and this one will be what? 30 degree. Why? Because this perpendicular is dividing this angle two parts and it is bisecting, so both will be equal, and this triangle is congruent of this triangle, and congruence rule is that if two triangles are equal, all sides and angles will be equal. Clear? If two triangles are congruent means these two triangles, all sides and corresponding angles, all sides and angles will be equal, so both will be congruent. Then what we are doing, this line is dividing this base equal to two parts. We are taking this right triangle, we assumed this one as a 2a, then this one will be a. Why? Because it is the half of this one. Then by using Pythagoras we are obtaining, for once we consider this as a acute angle, then we can find its perpendicular and we obtain this one. Clear? Then we are having all sides of triangle AB, right triangle ABD, and then we can obtain 60 degree trigonometry ratios and 30 degree trigonometry ratios. Clear? Once we consider 60 degree, then its opposite, this will be what? Perpendicular, this will be base, and this one will be what? Hypotenuse. For 30 degree, this one will be perpendicular, this will be base, and this one will be what? Hypotenuse. So in this way we are getting all the trigonometry ratios for 30 degree and 60 degree. That's all about this class. Thank you so much.